presents the 5A Final Four here at the Huntsman Center, powered by Washakie Renewable Energy. And it's a Utah County showdown, the American Fork Cavemen against the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. Welcome on back to the Huntsman Center, everybody. Alongside Britton Johnson, I'm Tony Parks. Just one slot remaining for the finals coming up tomorrow, and it features two teams very familiar with one another. Each of them won on the other's home court earlier this season.
Look to see an up-and-down basketball game. These two know each other well. They know their offensive plays. They know what type of defense they're going to see. It doesn't matter right now. And now it's just going to be who goes out, who executes, who plays good basketball on the big stage and the bright lights.
All right, when we talk about big-time playmakers in this one, we start with Ryan Andrus of the American Fork Cavemen. He has had quite a season. He's had quite a career. That's why he's going to BYU.
Well, he's there. They go through him. He's their big guy. He has nice touch, does a lot of nice things. You know, he can face up, he can hit hook shots, and he's a good passer when he gets double teamed. So they're going to go through him. It's going to start with him down low, and then he can also step out and he can shoot from the three. He can pull up. He's a good player.
On the other side, it's the unassuming Matt Conway, the kid from Chandler, Arizona, who has been fantastic for Pleasant Grove all year long, and the same has been here in the tournament.
Well, Tony, they say that this kid's a mellow kid except for when the ball goes up in the air. So when that ball's up, be ready for him to turn it on. He's an animal. You know, he's a dribble drive. He can attack. He can do a lot of nice things for his team. He can pull up and hit the three, and he likes to play fast. I watched this team the other night. They play quick. They get down the court. They're looking to shoot the three, and they're looking to attack the basket.
We all know a guy like that. Speaking of hitting the three-pointers, they hit 10 yesterday against the Alta Hawks as they buried that team from deep, and they buried them on defense too.
Well, that's the thing, Tony. In the tournament, you've got to have guys playing special basketball, and you saw him right there pull up from the three in that Jimmer Fredette range. Yes, it's now, I guess, named that. But the thing is, tonight, you're going to see both teams in the first quarter play very intense defense, jittery basketball. Both these guys want to get to that next game tomorrow. It's going to be a fun game.
It's going to be a fist fight coming up next. Pleasant Grove, American Fork. One final slot for the championship game. We'll decide it coming up next on KJZZ. Earlier today, now back here at the Huntsman Center, two other Utah County teams will go head-to-head. It's time now to take a look at our players to watch, brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first. We talked about Andrus earlier, but let's not forget about Rawson. And how about Brendan Bailey, who kind of does a little bit of everything?
Well, I'm going to keep my eye on Brendan Bailey because I coached him when he was in 8th grade. Really love this kid. He's really doing a great job. At just a young age as a sophomore, he's getting in there, he's battling, can hit the open three. Brendan's a smart player, high IQ. Obviously, Dad Thurl's helping him out with a lot of stuff.
Let's take a look at who to watch tonight for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. We talked about Conway. Riley Court, in the victory against American Fork, had 23 points. In the loss, he had 5.
Well, you know, Riley in this backcourt, you know, they do a great job of pushing the ball up, getting open looks. American Fork's big thing in this first quarter, and they know this. They've played these guys. They've got to get back on defense and not allow so many easy baskets. And easy baskets for Pleasant Grove, Tony, is if that three-point line's available and it's open, it's going up, and they're shooting it well right now.
Tonight's tip-off brought to you by Questor, delivering natural gas safely, efficiently, and fairly. All the players to center court. The final game of the Final Four set to begin here tonight at the Huntsman Center. American Fork controls the tip. Johnson with it. Now we'll go straight away to Rawson. In the corner, Andrus 15-footer. Nope. Rebound, Pleasant Grove. Ahead to the sideline. Physical move underneath, forces it up, can't get it to go. Rebound fought for. Andrus has it. Outlet to Johnson.
Andrus is
Here's Bailey for 3. Good! Brendan Bailey.
Great shot, feet set. That's Brendan. If you get him coming off a screen or his feet are set, his shoulders are square. High percentage shot for him.
Sheffield in the paint, taken away. Gets it back. Kicks out. There's a drive to the middle by Pincock. Can't finish.
This is a long American Fork basketball team, and you can tell Pleasant Grove's got to alter their shots when they get into that paint, Tony. That's a big plus for American Fork on the defensive end.
American Fork in the Final Four a year ago, they were beaten by Alta. In a game they felt like they weren't physical enough in. Andrus misses the hook. Here's the loose ball grabbed by Court. Court down the middle. Bounce pass, baseline, jump shot on the money.
Andrus has got to sprint back on defense. He missed that shot, and he's just camping out on the other end, and Coach Meacham's mad at him. You got to get back on defense.
Hayden DeHoyos with that bucket. Down the middle, Rawson, contact, blocking foul. Rawson will go to the line.
First foul on number 24 is Pincock.
So
I know
Pincock
these guys are
with
playing,
a foul, that's his first.
These guys are young. They're playing a lot of back-to-back games. Andrus looks like he's a little bit tired, but I don't care. There's no excuse. You've got to sprint back on the defensive end. If he's back there in the middle, maybe they don't make that bucket. Nice drive to the, or nice cut to the basket by Tyler Rawson.
Rawson for the first of two, and that is no good. For Rawson, his mom Carol played in the Final Four for volleyball at BYU. His family very involved in law enforcement. Uncle Steve and Grandpa Steve, both police officers. And that's what he wants to do with the future as well. Protect and serve. Second one is good. Don't forget, the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Tosh athlete of the game from the folks at Tosh, the orthopedic specialty hospital. 4-2, American Fork.
American Fork in man-to-man defense, Tony. Up and touch defense. They're playing really tight. They know Pleasant Grove can shoot it.
Inside, fouled, and going to the line will be Matt Conway, a very physical player in the paint.
Well, I got to tell you why he got that shot. He really pinned his man on the right in the middle of the key, kept him on his hip, did a nice job of not leaving early when the pass was thrown to him. Very smart play by a big man with a strong body.
Great strength in his lower body as well. I've been watching him this whole tournament. Seems to get the spot he wants on the floor whenever he wants it.
Well, that was a great job by the guard. I couldn't tell who threw. I think it was number 22. But drove into the middle of the lane and just threw him a nice bounce pass. Play happens because of how well he sealed his defender.
Both free throws good. He was able to get to the free throw line at will so far in this tournament. And tonight could be the same story. In the game now for American Fork is Braden Conde. He has been huge for this team coming up off the bench. A spark plug. Your typical sixth man, but a very good one. Rawson, right-hander's good. Tyler Rawson now with 3 points.
Great post feed by Brendan Davies. Throwing it into Tyler. Tyler, nice dribble to the middle of the floor. Countered it with the spin move to the baseline. Great move for a high school kid.
Rawson had 24 and 8 with 3 3-pointers in that win over Pleasant Grove earlier this year. Sheffield, the kick out. 3 ball on the way. Money! Hayden DeHoyos now with 5.
Feet set. Nice shot by Hayden.
DeHoyos stripped, but can't keep it in bounds. Great energy from Hayden DeHoyos both ends.
Well, nice three-point shot. Had his feet set and just shot it real quick, but then down on the defensive end, that's where you're going to win the game.
Andrus will now come in the game. He's going to replace Taylor Larson.
Well, Andrus, for whatever reason, looked like he got winded really early. So hopefully getting on the bench. Doug made a nice substitution. Either that or he's mad at him for not running back. I don't know. But looks like he's got some energy now.
Andrus with a lob, offensive foul. Rawson was going for him, and he fended off with his left arm.
Well, he came in with a lot of energy. You know, that's a good call. He led with that left arm. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a flop.
You get the feeling that call wouldn't have been made in our previous game with the staff.
No, they were letting these guys play hard physical basketball, and I really liked it. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call right there.
Great pass to Conway. Conway for Sheffield. Sheffield up, under. Off the rim, no good. 5 on 4 as Sheffield went down.
Pleasant Grove playing good high-low basketball. Did a great job of getting back, though, on defense as well.
Rawson, great fake. Goes to the hole. He'll now go to the line.
Nice little head fake. Not even really a pump fake, Tony. Just made a nice little head fake. I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell my son all the time, you don't always have to pump the ball up in the air. Just give him a nice little, get your eyes and chin up. That's all you need sometimes to get by a guy that's playing a really aggressive type of defense on you.
Which Sheffield took it underneath the chin. It was certainly a blocking foul. He paid for it. For Sheffield, his first. Each team with 2 team fouls. Rawson hitting the first free throw to make it 7 up.
Nice free throw touch by the big man. American Fork doing a good job of fronting the post, Tony, trying to keep the ball out of there. Meacham definitely got that type of defense from Majerus. We never let anybody get the ball in the post. It was always a front.
Court goes underneath. Conway fouled. He will go to the line.
I say that because Doug played for Coach Majerus. He's a fellow Ute. I'm going to try not to call this game with a favoritism manner.
Many people may say, where did Matt Conway come from? Well, the answer is Chandler, Arizona. Came to an open gym. Nobody knew who he was, what he was all about. But he was turning some heads there at the open gym, and before you know it, he's obviously going to make his way out there on this team. A 3-5 student, and his father, Danny Conway, played at Utah State in the late 80s and then professionally in New Zealand. You mentioned he's kind of one of those mellow kids, but boy, when the game gets started, he's a different animal.
He's been aggressive. I like the way he uses his body, and it only helps to use your body good in the post, sealing guys, getting on top of them if you have good passers. And he's got some guards on this Pleasant Grove team that know how to pass the ball.
Great pass underneath and a great finish that time by Taylor Larson.
Nice double pump play by Taylor. He goes straight up with that. That maybe gets blocked.
There's Riley Court, averaging 15 a game this year. He'll go to the left hand and now back it all the way out.
Brendan Davies doing a great job of moving his feet with Riley. I think Brendan's one of their best defenders.
Great steal by Condi. American Fork running the other way.
Good swing.
Rawson a 3. No. Court the rebound. And Pleasant Grove starts to run. Pincock down the middle for Conway, and it's blocked. Terrific defensive play by Rawson.
Great play right there. Up and down, right to the basket. Nice play by that was not Lawson. 34. Rawson.
Yeah.
I'm getting Larson and Rawson mixed up.
You mixed them to Lawson. Here's a baseline jumper. Andrus, nice touch.
Good pass. Good pass. Nice setup shot by Andrus.
Underneath. Can't finish. Conway had another good look.
I tell you what, American Fork does a nice job of just altering shots.
Bailey, flat. Here comes Court. Left side he goes to Sheffield. Sheffield trying to kick it back out for Pincock, who collects the loose ball.
Tony, this American Fork team with their length and size with Brendan at the 3 reminds me a lot of Bountiful's team. And Bountiful's just got a long, athletic starting 5. A lot of athletic guys that can put the ball on the floor, but also can alter a lot of shots on the defensive end.
Court kicks out to Hoyas, another 3. And De Hoyas with 8 points so far in this game. For De Hoyas.
Pleasant Grove's in the zone now.
He is getting the good looks and knocking them down as well. 12 up.
Good pass.
Andrus with a step. And American Fork back on top.
Tyler Rawson's a good passer. He's making good decisions. Watched Andrus seal his guy. Made a nice pass right over the defense's shoulder.
Contact foul while trying to get position underneath. And this one is going to go against Taylor Larson. Partner, we had a great first game, and we're off to a great start in game number 2. 14-12, American Fork on top. The 5A Final Four, presented by Tosh. Late in the first quarter, we have a 2-point game here at the Huntsman Center. 5A semifinals here on KJZZ TV. This part of the game brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford store or go to thinkfordnow.com. That was the second foul called by Taylor Larson, by the way. 4 team fouls on American Fork, 2 for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. Riley Court will back all the way up and take the long inbound pass. Although the results may not be there every possession, Britton, it seems like Pleasant Grove is getting a lot of what they want out of their possessions, except right here where it looked to be a turnover. The officials without an actual signal until now. They're going to give it to Pleasant Grove.
American Fork's playing a really tight man-to-man defense.
Foot race for the ball. Out of bounds to American Fork. Terrific play by Taylor Larson. Still playing aggressive defense, although he has 2.
That's tough. I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, Doug's, Coach Meacham's taking a little bit of a gamble with that. But at the same time, when you're out there, Tony, you don't want to play relaxed. You don't want to play tentative. Is what I mean when you have 2 fouls. You still got to play basketball, but still risky call.
Andrus, spin move, got it. We have watched all of his moves here in the early going. 16-12.
He's got a lot of weapons down there on that post.
Conway, contact, no call. Gets his own left-handed in. He had to earn that one.
Nice move by him. Got hit, kept with it. I think Andrus thought he might have been getting a foul on that, so he sort of stopped on the play, but nice play by Conway.
Condi.
Did I say it wrong?
Goes to Johnson and a travel. No, Condi plays for American Fork.
Okay.
You're good. Rawson coming back in for the Cavemen. Larson stepping out. Good minutes out of Larson here in the early going.
Tough kid, playing very physical. He's their do-it-all man right now. Offensive end, defensive end, he's playing really tough basketball.
At what point in the clock do you always want to take the last shot? Your philosophy with no shot clock.
With no shot clock, man, even if I see it underneath a minute, I almost want to burn some time and try to get the last shot. But, I mean, it depends where you're at in the game, depends if I'm down or if I'm up. First quarter right now, I'm probably trying to get the last shot if I'm under 50 seconds.
Condi straight away. And the pressure is right there by Didrikson. They go to the corner, a 3-ball on the way. That's going to be short. Shot put up by Johnson. Rebound put up, no good. Clock down to 4, down to 3. Here comes Court. 1 second. Court hands off, and he did not get it off. The long court shot was no good, and he did not get it off. Jake Wilson had it in his hands too late.
Well, right there, you got to make sure you get back on defense again. American Fork's doing a good job of crashing the boards, but you got to get back on defense.
5A semis continue. Coming up next, presented by Tosh. Round 1 to American Fork as they are up by a deuce. We move on to the second quarter. The Cavemen lead over the Vikings 16-14. Jace Gibb in the game for the first time for the Cavemen. Hayden DeHoyas back in the game for the Vikes. A little confusion on the call from the staff as Riley Court now gets the team into the play they want to run.
1-3-1 defense by American Fork. I like the change that Doug Meacham, Coach Meacham, so everyone knows what I'm talking about, is come out with.
Conway gets a good look but can't finish. Sheffield back for Conway. A 3 on the way. Bam! Nice shot by Forrest Pincock. And what seemed to be a broken play turns into a big bucket.
That's just unfortunate, yeah. Great recognition by Pleasant Grove to kick the ball out, but there was kind of a scrum in the middle. Nice move.
Andrus now with 8 points.
Great up and under step through move. You can tell he's been coached well. He's got a lot of moves on the post.
Sheffield keeps it himself. Now a skip pass. DeHoyas, he's been hot early. Court with a drive. Goes back out to Pincock around the horn. Sheffield trying the baseline, gets around Andrus. Shot fake, up and under, no call. Here comes Condi.
Tyler Rawson, good defense.
3 by Andrus from way out there, and he knocks it down. He has range, he has length. Some good post moves.
Nice shot, stepping out and hitting the big 3.
Contact again, no foul. Rebound fought for. Rawson has it.
I like the tempo of this game, Tony. The refs are letting these guys scrap a little bit underneath, making it for a fun, physical game. Very impressive to see Ryan Andrus step out and shoot the big 3 after battling down low and making a couple of nice post moves as well.
The Cavemen 21, the Vikings 17. Early here in the second quarter, a steal. A 2-on-1 the other way. Sheffield with a spin move, reverse layup. He's fouled by Condi. And he will go to the line. Condi was beat, smart foul.
Well, good play by Pleasant Grove. They recognized they were trying to set a high cross screen for Ryan Andrews to shoot another three, but Pleasant Grove took the play away. Mark Sheffield, good recognition. They knew that they were going to the hot hand. Nice steal.
Sheffield with 13 points, 9 boards, and 3 steals against Alta. Part of that great defensive effort is they really put the handcuffs on the Hawks. Sheffield, an honor roll kid, a 26 ACT, and will be going into business.
He's a tennis player too, huh?
Mm-hmm. One of the best. If you'd like to see this game again, catch our rebroadcast. That's Wednesday at 1:30 only on Root Sports. Jace Gibb back in now for American Fork.
You see how Pleasant Grove's attacking these guys on the defensive end, Tony, out high. You've got to drive and attack on that.
Floater again, up and no good. Ball knocked out of bounds. Brendan
Bailey will get better at this as he gets older, but he was being guarded high out on the high wing of in the half-court set. If anybody tries to jam him, he needs to put the ball on the floor and attack him. He's so athletic, they won't be able to stay with him that far out.
Brendan Bailey will take a seat. What are your thoughts on his early game here today?
He's a defensive stopper. He's done a great job. He's been taking the defensive assignment of guarding Riley Court, and Riley hasn't been able to get around him and do much on him. That's nice of having a guy that's that long and athletic and can move his feet. He'll be a defensive stopper for Coach Meacham for a long time.
Conway gets the touch, but is pretty far away from the basket now. Sheffield has it stolen. Jump ball.
Tony, I got to tell you, Ryan Andrews has been doing a great job on the offensive end for as a big man, but it's been Tyler Rawson that's just been doing a lot of stuff on defense, wrapping a ball up right here, but he's been getting his hand on a lot of deflection. He's been creating a lot of deflections. He's been rebounding, doing a nice job for American Fork on the defensive end.
I love Rawson's overall game.
He's smart, good passer as well.
Shoulder down and a layup in for Rawson. Fortunate not to get a charge there. He threw the shoulder in. Other way, Conway blocked. Rawson again.
Rawson, man, he is showing up big tonight. Not a long break for Brendan Bailey. Just ran by us to check in again.
They have 3 bench players out there on the floor, Condi, Gibb, and Childs.
Tony, that's a, hey, go get a drink and check yourself back in.
Nice to see them in the plus, by the way, with him not on the floor.
Great
Andrus
pass
on the bench as well. Beautiful reverse lay-in, Brody Childs.
Tony, Tyler Rawson's the best player on the court right now so far in this game. He is just doing everything. Great pass on the baseline.
Knocked away by Childs here, and a steal. Condi pushing down the floor. In the corner, 3 ball, no. Childs just missed. And now a trap. And he's going to throw it off of a defender. Forrest Pincock had nowhere to go. And we have a timeout on the floor. Andrus and Bailey will return. Welcome back to the 5A semifinals, presented by Tosh and powered by Washakie Renewable Energy. A nice surge here for the American Fork Cavemen, and a good boost from some of their bench players, Condi, Gibb, and Childs.
Well, American Fork, I'm gonna point right at Tyler Rawson. He's been a huge key for this American Fork team on the defensive end, on the offensive end, playing great basketball. I mean, and he's got a tough job in Matt Conway, and he's doing a pretty good job with him.
Straight away, here's Pincock driving into the lane. Conway, 15-footer, hits.
Man, that kid's cool. Cool as ice. Just nice pull-up. He plays very physical, but great job of having his feet set on that baseline, and nice jumper from him.
American Fork has done a nice job of making sure his touches are well away from the basket. Contact and a foul on Conway here as Andrus was starting to get loose.
Well, Doug's team doing a nice job of finding Andrus. Doug Meacham, Coach Meacham's doing a great job of finding, having his team swing the ball, finding Andrus down low.
Bailey to inbound will go to Andrus. And now here is Gibb. Bailey looking for Andrus. They get it to him. Double team comes and now fades away. Andrus shot fake, drive the baseline, lay it up, no good. Andrus tips it around. Loose ball is picked up by the Cavemen. And a timeout called by Doug Meacham as Jace Gibb grabbed the loose ball and was able to get out of there.
Great call by Doug to make that timeout.
30 seconds.
Smart for him to do because underneath the basket, they didn't have anywhere to go with the basketball, and they were able to call the timeout.
Let's look at our next broadcast, the 4A state finals starting at 1:30, coming your way tomorrow, only on KJZZ TV. And then you'll have the winner of this game going up against the Lone Peak Knights in the 5A state championship. And what a great 5A semi-final we had there, 72-63. Lone Peak gets the victory over Davis. But this has been a great semi-final. 4 terrific teams right here at this point. I think they truly did have the 4 best teams playing on this stage in both classifications.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought Davis put up a great fight. I mean, they had the game tied with about 4 minutes to go, I think. Just came down to the end. TJ Haas took over for Lone Peak, which he did last night, and he's a great player to have on your team when it's crunch time, and he can just take the ball from outside and do so many things on his drive.
Andrus on the block, goes to work. Can't get it. Rawson tips it up. No, tips again and gets it to go home. Can you say MVP of this game so far?
So far, yeah. He's been everywhere. He's playing very aggressive basketball, just tipping the basketball on the offensive end, finding the right plays on the defensive end, helping his players out.
Court, inside. Great work by Andrus with the hands straight up. Bailey, stolen away by Sheffield. Sheffield ahead for Court. It's back to a 5-point game. Big takeaway.
Great steal.
Rawson to work again. He'll go to the line. Doing it all here tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's finding ways to be active on every part of the floor. I just loved his face-up game right there. One little fake, took it baseline, and then got his body into his defender. Tony, I mean, refs don't want to reward anybody that's going to shoot a fadeaway. So if you're going to go for a high percentage shot, try to find a way to create a foul.
Rawson will head to Southern Utah after his high school playing days. Misses the front end here. Condi back in for American Fork, and Conway back in the game for the Vikes.
Tony, you can tell Tyler Rawson's going to be a beast when he gets about 30 pounds on him. The style of basketball that he plays, how aggressive he is, his energy, he is going to be a beast.
Missed both. Andrus with a fadeaway, no foul called. And here comes Court. Skip pass. Driving, finding a safe spot, and hitting is Didrikson.
Great pull-up jumper, great control, body control by Didrikson.
Didrikson missed a month after being hit by a car in the school parking lot back in December. Jumper up, no good. Johnson can't get it to go, and the rebound is grabbed by Sheffield. Took him a little while to get him back, Didrikson that is, after being hit. He was out for about a month. He had stitches, had to wear a mask for a minute. Here is Rawson again making another great play. Finishes, and the foul.
Hey, Rawson is the man right now in this game. He's doing it all for American Fork, Tony. I mean, right now you're seeing the offense, you're seeing the defense, you're seeing his energy, he's getting his team fired up. Great control on that for a big man. Again, I think he's going to be a good college basketball player as well as he gets stronger.
Just a fabulous start to this game. He's had some issues at the free throw line, but defensively, offensively, when it comes to the loose balls, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, he's leading his team right now. He's also made a couple of really nice passes to guys that after he's drawn a lot of attention.
Defense creating some offense. Give him 12 points now in this game. Just over a minute left to play here in the second quarter. American Fork 30, Pleasant Grove 24. Shot fake by Wilson. Three ball on the way by Didrikson. No, Wilson grabs the loose rebound.
Wilson set up a nice shot.
He steps into a three. That's not good. Offensive rebound again. Court kicks out. Three ball on the way again. He hits. Forrest Pincock.
Well, Pleasant Grove stayed with it, but American Fork just did a horrible job of boxing out. Too many offensive rebounds. You got to get your body on a guy.
Following in the footsteps of his brother who played at Pleasant Grove. Andrus, about 12 feet out. Skip pass. Condi a three. No. Bailey picks up a big offensive board. They could play for one shot, and that's what Coach Meacham wants.
Well, that was a big offensive rebound. That's why you want a long, athletic three guard like Brendan that can crash in there. I don't think he's going to be playing the three much longer with how fast he's been growing. you might look at a 4-5 in the future.
Andrus, baseline jumper, hits! A 5-point lead to the half for the Cavemen of American Fork. We expected a good hard fight.
We're getting it, Tony.
And that's what we have after 16 minutes of basketball. American Fork with a slight lead at the end of one, a 5-point lead here at the half. We'll have the halftime report brought to you by IM Flash Technologies coming up next. Britton and I will be back with highlights plus the step-up recruiting report as well. You don't want to miss that. The 5A semis presented by Tosh and powered by Washakie Renewable Energy continues after this. American Fork on top by 5 in this game with some great work early on out of DeHoyas of Pleasant Grove.
Well, you know, Pleasant Grove's done a good job of doing what got him here to this point, and that's collapsing the defense and kicking it out. But American Fork's had a lot of nice offensive plays from Larson. Sorry, I'm going blank on his name. Ryan Andrus, and making a lot of moves down low, doing a great job of finding the basket. So on the defensive end, though, that's been the big story for me, Tony, is Tyler Rawson. He's been doing everything right now. You'll see a nice defensive block right here. He's playing well, blocking shots, stole the ball, took it down coast to coast, had an and one. Great job by the two caveman big men.
4 of 6. He has 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Rawson has been terrific. We'll continue with the halftime report. Get you ready for the second half. Coming up next on KJZZ. Brought to you by American First Credit Union, where members come first. And we expected a lot, obviously, out of Andrus, and a guy by the name, as you were talking about earlier, Tyler Rawson has had a terrific first half. 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Well, Tyler's been doing everything. We've been high on him for this first half just because he's carried the Cavemen on the defensive end, helping out when players have lost their men. He's been sliding over and playing good team defense. And then offensively, he's been crashing the board and making smart plays. Nice passes, had a couple nice dishes. Right now, he's doing a great job. I mean, the guy's got 4 assists, 12 points, and 6 rebounds.
Taking a look for the Pleasant Grove Vikings, Conway has 8 points, just 2 of 9 from the field. Hayden DeHoyas has 8 points. He is 2 for 2 from long range. And Pincock, by the way, with 6 points, coming up with a couple of big 3-point shots.
Well, Matt's been playing aggressive, and that's what we've seen from him in this tournament. That's what we've heard about him from this year. Very calm, great guy, but when the ball goes up, he's an aggressive player, and he's been aggressive. A lot of the shots that aren't falling just because of the height and the defense that he's been having to go against in Tyler and Ryan. So I would expect Pleasant Grove. I'd expect Coach McAllister to continue to go at him and want him to bring him back or to continue to help them out in the low post presence of this game.
Pleasant Grove shooting better from beyond the arc. American Fork shooting better overall, 50% to 42, 4 of 6 from long range. Pleasant Grove from 3-point range, but American Fork with a 14-6 advantage in the paint.
I'll tell you, American Fork, they're doing a great job of utilizing their bigs. That's where they're good. But this is a team also that knows how to play a dribble drive game. They'll drive, they'll collapse the defense, they'll figure out ways to get these little quick baseline shots from Andrus, who's got a nice touch. I'm impressed with his face up. I'm impressed with his post presence on the offensive end. He's done a nice job. He's been throughout this year a big part of American Fork. They don't always go to him a lot. He's not yet a beast mode type player. I'd like to see him play a little more aggressive, use his body the right way, because he is a strong kid. I know he likes to face up and shoot jumpers, but I think overall he's going to be a talented player also on the next level.
Both of these teams were fabulous defensively yesterday. American Fork held Brighton scoreless in the third quarter. They had just 2 field goals total in the second half. Brighton shot 20% for the game, 11% in that second half. On the other side, Pleasant Grove held out to the 25% from the field, 34% for the game, out-rebounded them 40-26. They were able to get to the free throw line 32 times. Obviously, Conway, a big reason for that.
Well, that's huge. And the biggest thing in these games, Tony, you got to understand something. Refs don't want to call fouls. They want to let things go. But if you can find a way to be the team to get to the foul line by playing physical and aggressive, not worrying about, you know, whether or not you get an offensive foul, you just got to go and play hard and then see how the refs call it.
The Vikings to have the ball starting the second half. Here is Riley Court, the vocal leader. Had a triple-double with 12 assists earlier this year. One of two guys to do it this year in 5A. A lot of movement up top for Pleasant Grove in this possession. Sheffield looking for Conway, but can't find him. Court for Conway. Contact and a foul.
Well, American Fork was playing great defense on that play, Tony. Taylor Larson was down low trying to front his man and did a nice job, but they just got caught over the top.
Conway, who had 18 points in the victory against American Fork earlier this year. That was at American Fork. And then 12 points, 14 rebounds in the loss. Pleasant Grove, the only team from the state in a very long time to beat Lone Peak. They had a huge comeback in that game, and they shot lights out.
He is definitely crafty at getting to the free throw line. He's going to the free throw line a lot. He's finding ways to jump and get contact. Conway doing a good job.
Johnson driving with the left. Goes to Bailey. Bailey with a 15-footer. Back rim. Nice rebound offensively by Taylor Larson. He can't get it to go. Rebound Sheffield. Outlet to Court. Down the court they go, and now it's a three-ball by DeHoyos. He hits again.
Well, that looks
Hayden DeHoyos.
That looks like Pleasant Grove.
3 for 3, long range.
That looks like Pleasant Grove basketball right there. Pushing the ball up fast, looking for the open three.
Spencer Johnson. Go to Taylor Larson. Nice drive on the baseline by Johnson, and he finishes. Spencer Johnson, who played Jabari Parker one-on-one a few years ago in a camp in Oregon. I asked him if he won. He said, "What do you think?"
How'd that turn out? Yeah.
I asked him what the score was. He said, "I'm not telling you."
I wouldn't be afraid to say what the score was if I was him.
Johnson lived in Roseburg, Oregon.
Look, you
Went
know,
in junior high, lived in Germany before that. Well-traveled, does a great job adjusting to a different environment.
you can tell the score when you lose to Jabari. You don't tell the score when you lose to your little sister.
By the way, 4 fouls now on Taylor Larson. And a foul as Conway goes to the hoop. He did this all night last night against the Alta Hawks.
Again, I mean, he just does a great job of finding a way to get to the free throw line, finding bodies, jumping into him, creating fouls.
There's Spencer Johnson, by the way. No relation to Reggie Johnson from the Tosh commercials. Although he did a great job with his comeback for North High School, scoring the game winner against Rocky Mountain High School.
It's so
what
hard.
A fabulous finish.
So hard to listen to that call when the mic goes out. It's a great commercial, Tony.
34-34.
Pleasant Grove extending their defense, making it difficult on American Fork.
Tie game here. Heavy pressure on DeHoyos, and for good reason. 3 for 3 from long range in this game.
This is college-type basketball, Tony. You've seen a lot of man-to-man, pick-and-roll basketball that some of these kids that are going to go on to the next level are going to have to get used to playing. You see so many zones in high school.
Sheffield almost taken away by Bailey. Here's Court. Great stop by Rawson, but he steps back and hits the jumper. It's a long 2, and it's a 2-point lead for the Vikings. They have stormed back to get back on top, and a timeout called by Pleasant Grove will take it with them. We'll be back with the 5A semis, brought to you by Tosh and powered by Washakie Renewable Energy. Third quarter action here at the Huntsman Center. Pleasant Grove, who has trailed for most of the first half, now has a 2-point lead and a great jump to the start of this second half as they are off to a 9-2 run Offensively, things are clicking, but what is happening defensively here in the second half for PG?
Well, PG shots are falling, Tony, no doubt, and they're getting to the free throw line, but they're making things really difficult on the two big men for American Fork. Ryan Anderson, Taylor Larson, these two ones have been carrying them, doing some high-low action, but they're sinking in and making it real tough for them to get low post catches and get easy buckets towards the basket.
Johnson to Bailey. Bailey back for Condi. Here's Bailey for three. Can't get it.
Good spot up shot. You got to take that.
Court to Sheffield. To the hoop. Blocking. An offensive foul. It's going to go the other way.
Good call. Thought he had his feet set. Looked like Ryan was in there.
Nate Didrikson will check in now.
That's what you need to have.
That is the third foul on Sheffield.
That's what you need to have is your big men slide over, Tony, and be aware. Doug Meacham does a good job of coaching offside, weak side defense.
Contact away from the ball and a foul. This one will be on Conway.
Two bigs looking for each other. That's their best bet right now, is to try and find a way to get that ball down inside, either Ryan or Taylor. Conway having to battle him on the defensive end to keep him off the block.
Second foul on Conway. That is the second team foul in the second half for the Vikings. Here's Andrus. Close look.
Again, great pass. Great pass by Taylor Larson.
Conway answers on the other end. Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Tosh athlete of the game from the folks at Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Johnson double team. Rawson, skip pass around the horn to Bailey. Knocked away from Andrus, but he recovers. Bailey stripped by Court, knocked out of bounds to Pleasant Grove. The defensive pressure is definitely there.
Well, Brendan was trying to get the ball inside, looking at him, and just didn't see that defender from his left side, weak side, and they got the hand on the ball.
Alley-oop, the catch, and that time he couldn't finish. Pincock.
Nice play by Pleasant Grove.
So Jake Wilson has the foul called on him there. That'll be his second. That's the third team. Pressure put on now by Didrikson all over Condi. This ball loose, knocked away, and the official actually gets in the way. Otherwise, Court may have been off to the races. Riley can't believe it.
Didn't they ask for the officials with the quick feet?
Boy, tough break. And then it goes off of Court. Johnson the baseline. Nice touch.
Nice skip pass. Nice skip back by Ryan Andrus. Great touch, pull-up jumper.
A three out of the corner, no good. That time Wilson went for it. Offensive rebound. Pincock was open. He'll drive it. Nice dish underneath and one. Conway.
Great finish.
What a pass from Forrest Pincock.
Great pass by Pincock and Tony up and on. Finished that between the two tall trees and Taylor and Ryan. And you watch this, he keeps his head up, powers his way through. That was a tough basket. I'm not quite sure how he made that.
3-point lead for Pleasant Grove. Stolen by Court. Boy, he's been terrific defensively.
But American Fork is just not being strong with the basketball. They're letting these guys just come up and take it right from them. You got to rip that ball through, Tony. If someone's playing you tough up top, you rip it through and you drive to the basket. Or at least try to get by your defender. It's not about pivoting and trying to step away and make a pass. If someone's guarding you tough, you've got to be aggressive and take the action to him.
Johnson with his second foul. American Fork with 5 now. Wilson lobs for Conway. Can't finish the layup. Boy, he had a bunny.
American Fork got lucky right there. That was a nice pick and roll lob play. Great recognition.
Rawson dumped down. Andrus.
Great finish by Andrus, but again, nice pass by Taylor Larson.
Conway right up against the rim again. This time it's blocked by Rawson. Andrus, by the way, was 17 now. Conway was 17.
And I apologize, Tyler Rawson was the one that made the nice pass. I think I've been saying Taylor Larson. I'm at it again, Tony. I'm sure I've upset a lot of moms and dads tonight whose kids' names.
You have Taylor Larson and Tyler Rawson.
Can I give myself a disclaimer? This is my third game I've done.
A three ball on the angle that time from Nate Didrikson. He was a starter earlier this year. They elected him to put him on the bench after he was injured and took some time coming back. He was back on the floor, but the player they're used to wasn't back. Condi answers with a layup. It's a 2-point game again. Conway to Wilson for three. And the hot shooting continues for the Vikings. They're up 5, their biggest lead.
Tony, Pleasant Grove is great at making the extra pass. They're helping they're really making an effort to find the open man.
Rawson back to Bailey. Quick trigger three hits. Brendan Bailey. That's his second three-pointer of the game.
Big shot
Bailey
by
with
Brendan.
6. Layup by Court on the other end. And the haymakers continue to be landed.
Is this fast-paced enough for you?
You couldn't ask for better. I mean, the last game was terrific. This one as well. Timeout, American Fork. The Vikings with a second half adjustment. And they have a 4-point lead. This part of the game brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford store or go to thinkfordnow.com.
Tony, Vikings are just doing a great job of making the extra pass. These guys don't force up a lot of bad shots. They take quick shots, but they're open, their feet are set, and they make nice decisions. Right now, American Fork's got to figure a way to get their bigs. I've been mistakenly saying Taylor. I apologize. Tyler Rawson has been doing a great job of making good passes, but they've got to get those two involved again. Tyler and Ryan down on the block and on the high post area. That's where they've been the most effective. I like how the American Fork moved the ball around and saw the quick three by Brendan Bailey. I think when his feet are set, he takes that quick shot. That's a good shot for him.
What is the conversation if you are Coach Doug Meacham in that huddle for American Fork?
Everybody take a deep breath and breathe right now. We got to start playing our type of basketball. It looks like Pleasant Grove's they're hurrying them up a little bit. You know, let's get our guy Ryan down on the block. Let's figure out a way to work that high-low through Tyler. Keep moving the ball around, dribble drive. You know, just take a deep breath. Coach Meacham's got a lot of nice plays against 2-3 zones as well to find open shots.
Bailey lobs, nobody home. Andrus recovers.
They're chanting air ball, but I got news for you. That wasn't a shot. That was a pass. That's a lob play Doug has out of a 2-3. Coach Meacham out of a 2-3 and a timeout.
I did have a few shots that looked like that, though. I just claimed they were lobs. Bailey, step back. That one is a shot. It's no good. Tip around. Andrus had it for a moment. And a nice tip in by Rawson.
Just sticking with the play, Tony. Tyler sticking there and making a nice play for American Fork by tipping the ball in.
Conway can't hit the jumper. Clock down to 2, down to 1. Condi fires from half court. Alley-oop jam, that won't count. And it'll be a 2-point lead for Pleasant Grove. They win the third quarter. Now they'll try to win the game. 8 minutes of basketball left. 1 slot in the championship remaining when we return right here on KJZZ. There's Big T, Thurl Bailey, joining the game here tonight.
Sounds like we have another Jazz guy right now.
Live at the Huntsman Center. Big old T, Thurl Bailey. He's loving it. Big T, Thurl Bailey. Has to be nervous watching your kid on this kind of a stage.
Oh, I bet.
There's Brendan Bailey, who, of course, as you know, is the son of basketball star Cindy Bailey. played it
She'll like that.
UVU.
She'll like that. I promised Cindy I wouldn't say anything bad about her on this. But sometimes when someone opens that up, it's too easy.
Andrus ties the game with the jump shot.
Like that face-up jumper, Tony. That's a good-looking shot. So effective, too, if you can get that going, because now guys got to come out and guard you, and you can do so much after if you can get that shot going.
A three, long distance, no good. Rebound, Sheffield, nope. Conway picks it up. Back up, foul. And that one's going to go against Rawson.
Tony, the obvious right now, American Fork has got to rebound the basketball. Whether you're in man-to-man or zone, you just got to find a body and put it on him and go get the ball.
Conway is 9 for 9 from the line. He's just 4 of 14 from the field, but making up for it at the stripe. 17 points. All right, Jenkston.
Well, if you're not shooting good from the field, but you're getting to the free throw line and you're creating fouls on the other team, you know, that's two pluses right there. So that's what he's been doing a great job of tonight. He's finding a way to get to the free throw line. He's putting the American Fork players in foul trouble. So he's a smart kid and he's a battler.
Johnson with a step. Nope. Conway. Outlet to Court. Here comes Court down the middle. Sheffield back to Conway. He'll start to drive and now go back to Court for three. No, it was right on line.
Tell you what, Pleasant Grove, they like to launch. I don't think we've seen this many three-pointers being shot in one game yet.
7 of 10 from three-point range through 3 quarters. And missed their first long range, or their first 2 here in the fourth.
And I heard that's what a lot of the 2 games that they played earlier in the season were like. There was a lot of just three-point launching going on.
Rawson, no. Rebound Court, he's going to run. Traveling on Sheffield.
Tony, that's hard right there in that position to put the ball on the floor. If you see he caught that ball in traffic, nowhere to go when you're going that fast. You put the ball on the floor, it's going off someone's big foot. So I don't blame the kid for trying to take the steps and go into the basket, but maybe you slam on the brakes.
Bailey, open. No. Court nearly had it taken away. They're going to call a foul. This one is going to go against Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't see a foul there. It looked like he just went after the ball and tried to strip it. It's a difference, right, Tony? The last game, there was no foul calls.
With free online and mobile banking from America First, your credit union, and your money are always with you. Download the mobile app and visit AmericaFirst.com today. And that will put Riley Court on the free throw line. A big one. 7-3, the foul count. And that is the 3rd foul on Johnson.
Well, Riley's kind of been the do-it-all guy, but definitely, Tony, a vocal leader for this team. You know, takes leadership, and in a situation like this, 6 minutes to go in your semifinal state basketball game, you want a guy like him on the court that's going to be able to make sure everybody's doing their job, doing their assignments, and he's been known to be that guy.
A psychology major and a 3.75 GPA, a steal. Conway finishes.
Smart heads-up play. When you got to be careful, man, at the end of the game, you just can't afford to lose the basketball.
Five matches their biggest lead. They went for Rawson and a foul. This one against Conway, that'll be his 3rd.
It's tough right now. You've just got to be careful. You got to be aware of where the defense is at. You can't be lazy. And Tony, it was a made basket, right? Run the floor. You know, you can run over to the side. You can make sure you're getting
Too many
a good
players
pass.
forget that they can run the baseline.
Made basket. You got to be aware of that you can run. Get yourself a good passing angle.
Condi, who came off the bench, playing starter minutes here tonight. Contact and a foul.
Tony, big possession right here. You know, I see that clock, 5:33, with no shot clock in high school basketball. I know that in the NBA, that's an eternity. But
And Conway now with his 4th foul. That is enormous. That will now bring Wilson back into the game. And Conway will come off. This is a tough situation and a touchy one for Randy McAllister.
well, a little bit of chess match right here between the coaches. I mean, you want to bring Andrus in because of his foul trouble, but the Pleasant Grove's coach smart to get Conway out of the game with 4 fouls for maybe a minute or 2.
Long pass to Andrus, and he lost it. Out of bounds.
Looked like he took his eye off the ball.
Not used to playing wide receiver.
Yeah, well, that's a dangerous pass. You'd think they should be able to get a better, better look than having to go in that far in the back court. But all of Doug's out of bounds plays have a first option, second option, and a safety. So safety's there to get the ball in. Big defensive possession right here, Tony, for American Fork.
Who's the guy who's going to have to step up now with a guy like Conway out? I mean, he's their number 1 option. Who are you looking for here to make the simple and solid plays to help put this one away?
Well, I trust Tyler Rawson. I mean, he's made smart plays.
And for the Pleasant Grove Vikings, who are you looking for?
Sorry.
In and out of the hands of Pincock. And a backcourt violation. What is going on here?
Well, Dietrichson has been a smart player for these guys and has done a great job. Made the right plays, but I think he's actually off the court as well, too. Right now, I'd want the ball in Riley Court's hands and make sure that, everybody's running their plays, executing, but not trying to force anything, Tony.
Bailey, a good look. Back rim, no good. Off the top of the backboard.
See, American Fork
Pleasant Grove with numbers.
Settling for a lot of outside jumpers.
Court kicks out. De Hoyos hasn't missed. Still hasn't. 5 for 5. And he is 4 for 4 from long range. Timeout, American Fork. Hayden De Hoyos with 14 points. And we'll take the timeout with him. 57-49 the score. Pleasant Grove inching towards tomorrow night. (57-49). Coach Meacham had his team leading by 5 at the end of the half, and now his team trailing by 8, just 4:50 left to play. In the 5A semis presented by Tosh and powered by Washakie Renewable Energy. Johnson a 3. Air ball.
Good play to set up a nice open 3. He just didn't get enough on it. Looked like they got a nice look, but you want to try to get an open look. You want to try to get the ball inside, but I mean, I don't blame him for taking that shot.
There is Pincock. Big possession here. De Hoyos. He's been hot, but he'll go to Sheffield. Almost. Rawson a straight on 3. Big one. It's a 5-point game.
That kid has been big all game, Tony. Big 3, big rebounds, nice passer. He's done a great job.
17 for Rawson.
Big possession for AF, or a big defensive possession for AF.
Wilson. Let's go to De Hoyos. Condi all over him. Here's De Hoyos again. Didn't see that one coming.
No, and Coach McAllister was telling them to be patient. Coach McAllister was telling them to be patient. Work the ball around, and you can do it, Tony, with no shot clock.
57-52.
But for the sake of this being an exciting game, I'm glad they didn't.
De Hoyos reminded me a little bit of Mike Dunleavy in that 2001 NCAA championship game with Duke. Just exploded. How about the steal from Sheffield? All alone. zone. He'll finish.
That was a big steal. Wow. Big
And a
timing.
timeout. Mark that one down.
You know, Tony, sometimes you can point to a dagger, and depending on what happens in this timeout right now with Coach Meacham and these American Fork Caveman High School players, that could be a dagger right there in this ball game. Now, there's still plenty of time left, but what a great steal, great timing. Just timed it right. He knew the pick and roll was coming, and he did what you call a hard show and took it right from him. There might have been a little bit of contact out as well, but that's the real way to get your crowd energetic and excited.
Just a gritty group of players. Sheffield to Conway, Court, Pincock to Hoyas, Didrikson, Wilson. They're a tough group. And they're the only team to beat Lone Peak in the last 3-4 years, snapped a 36 in-state game winning streak. And you can see why. They have the formula to really beat any team, and when they are playing at their best, they are very tough to beat, and we're watching the difference between them playing well and them playing at an optimal level, as they have had spurts where they are just incredible.
Well, Tony, even just right there, I mean, you would think that Pleasant Grove might come out and play a little bit, you know, cautious and back, but what an aggressive steal, what an aggressive play to go down and get a nice dunk like that in a game. That's a tough thing for American Fork to have to come back to.
It's been a good game. If you'd like to see this game again, catch our rebroadcast Wednesday at 1:30 only on Root Sports.
Mark Shetfield. Is that Mark Shetfield that made that steal?
That is.
That was a nice play.
On a roll, kid.
Good heads-up play. Saw the pick and roll coming early. Might have been some contact on that play too, Tony. See.
And a foul here on Sheffield. They had one foul to give.
I couldn't see. Could you see a good angle on that when he made that steal? Was there contact
Not
on
a
that?
lot. No, there really wasn't a lot. I mean, moderate contact at best. I wouldn't have called the foul. Larson. And one. Taylor Larson, who had an ACL tear, returned well ahead of schedule. They didn't expect him to be back for a very long time. He finished and came back after just 5 months.
Well, nice
and has
play.
been a great motivation for this team.
Well, right now he did what American Fork needs to do, get to the basket. If there's not going to be any open three-point shots for good shooters, get to the basket, find a way to make some contact, and by all means finish it, and one great play.
His dad Russell played hoops at BYU. He puts this one in.
That was
big
a great player
play.
at BYU. American Fork has to be careful, Tony, with this defense they're trapping. They're going to leave some shooters open.
High post Conway back in the game with 4 fouls.
Pleasant Grove spreading it out to run some clock. This is where it gets frustrating if you're on the team that's down.
Contact and a foul, and this one against Brandon Bailey.
Strange foul call.
I didn't see a lot there.
There wasn't a foul call. I mean, there wasn't a foul, so I'm not quite sure why he blew his whistle on that.
Forrest Pincock to the line.
I don't think American Fork was looking to foul. They started to trap. They looked like they wanted to steal.
No. Andrus. Oh, the little things. Bailey down low. Rawson, he's been great all day. Blocked. Terrific play by Sheffield. Andrus fouled. Now some momentum starting to go back towards American Fork.
Well, Tony, I mean, it seemed like for a while they went away from that kind of inside ground and pound game where you've got to get the ball inside and make a couple nice moves to the basket. And for a while they sort of fell away from it. Right now, you know, block shot, goes for a second chance. Larson picks it up and makes a really nice dish over to Ryan. Ryan does a great job of powering it up, but just couldn't finish it.
Andrus headed to BYU after his playing days here at American Fork. He is also a pitcher, a top 20 player in the state, and a huge Yankee fan. Never been to Yankee Stadium, but wants to go badly. But more than that, I bet he wants to get to the finals. Down by 3. And that's all he's able to cut it to. 1 for 2 on the line. 2:13 to go. Pleasant Grove up by 3, timeout. McAllister wants a timeout.
I got to
I
imagine.
believe he'll have 2 more remaining.
I got to imagine Ryan's got a nice fastball with all that height.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Indeed
be fun.
he does. He'd be intimidating on the mound, kind of a Randy Johnson type guy. Let's look at our next rebroadcast, our next broadcast rather. The 4A state finals starting at 1:30 coming up tomorrow. Only right here on KJZZ TV. Orem and Bountiful, what a fantastic matchup that'll be.
That's going to be a fun one. I'm telling you what, Orem's got a lot of size, a lot of big men. They're well coached. They run a lot of little nice plays underneath the basket.
How about the star power? Nixon, Celius.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a
Merrill.
lot of fun. There's the top teams, top players in the state are in that game. You know, and the top players in the state are going to be in this one tomorrow as well. I mean, there's definitely, you know, every once in a while, Tony, you'll get an all-state championship team that's in the finals. It's just a good team. They work well as a team. They don't have necessarily a kid that's going to go and have a college career or anything, but this isn't the case. You got a lot of players that are going on to play at the next level in both these games.
Each team with 2 timeouts, each team in the bonus. A near steal by Brendan Bailey. They're going to call a foul. Coach Meacham doesn't like it. That's the second foul on Brendan Bailey.
I thought that was a tough call. Looked like that one might have been clean. I don't know if we get a replay on that or what, but again, American Fork's not looking to foul. They're trying to take the ball, but I think, Tony, you and I are used to that last game. They let him play, right?
It's been a different style of officiating. Now, both games very consistent in the way it's been officiated, but very different. Court hits the first one. Makes it a 2-possession game.
Well, it looked like an offensive foul. Looked like he pushed him off.
Second one, no good. Some missed opportunities there at the line. Here's Conti. Bailey goes for Andrus. He's double teamed. Andrus to work. Left-hander's good.
Great solid play. Nice finish with the left hand. You can tell this kid can play in the post. If he speeds up, Tony, he goes right into that double team, but he waits, lets the double team disappear. Plays one-on-one. Nice shot.
Pincock will hand off for De Hoyos. Here comes Court. Now they'll kick it back outside to Sheffield. Plenty of time left in this game, and they're going to call another foul on Bailey. All 3 of them have been a little soft.
I mean, again,
do you think officials look for fouls a little too often in situations
I
like
guess,
this?
but again, you know what I mean? It just seemed like I'm going off what I saw the last 2 games, and the officials were letting them play.
It's double bonus now for Riley Court. He hits the first.
Call him at the free throw line. Nice